In general, what was your thoughts about the game and how it went down?
Man, I done calmed down a lot from my initial reaction, man. When we went live on the post game show yesterday, I was kind of pissed off. You know what I mean? Like I was so mad at just the things that went on inside the game that I couldn't really take in the fact that we won that game for real. But that was a huge game. That was a game that we absolutely needed to win, and it was ugly. But in the NFL, that's how it go down sometimes. Sometimes you got to go out there and you got to win an ugly game. To move to 4-2 on the same day where the Baltimore Ravens won and the Pittsburgh Steelers put out a victory, you stay right there top of second place in the AFC North, and then you even gain a game in the conference, or so to speak, because Miami lost last night. So to stay right there in the thick of things in the AFC, it was pivotal. Was it ugly? Yeah. Is there a lot of things that frustrated me? Yeah, but I think a lot of my approach yesterday initially was like glass half empty, if I'm being totally honest, G. But if I'm looking at it from a glass half full standpoint, man, Bull said something that kind of struck a nerve. Like, we done won 2 straight games that arguably we could have lost, where our offense pretty much gave us damn near next to nothing. Mm-hmm. And to come out victorious in those games where I've personally seen my own 2 eyes that the Browns, years past didn't win those games, I got to be thankful for that. Every team got issues. We got our issues, but I'll take my issues with a 4-2 record versus these same issues, and we sitting here 2-4, more frustrated than what we already are because it looked like the season to be lost. So, we got that dub. We needed it.
I kind of compare it to in real life, man. Everybody done struggled out there. There's times that we converse in stories, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember starting when I was in the industry and I was living in Canton, I had to drive back and forth every single day. You know what I'm saying? And so that's an hour each way, and it's snow and everything. And sometimes you just look at it from the simple fact of you got to do what you got to do to make it to where you need to make it at. And sometimes when you drive, you might drive but put a lot of miles on your car. You might need to, you might burn out, some of the parts or whatever. You might have to get some repairs. Heck, you're gonna put a lot of money in that car for gas, but at the end of the day, when you look back at it and you progress and you get to where you need to go, you don't look at those things, which you had to put in there. All you know is I got there. I was able to get there, make it there fair and square. I didn't miss no days. Right. And looking back at that, you thankful that you got to where you needed to go. And I look at it that like the Browns, like, yeah, did they have some troubles? Sure they did. And I think when we watching the game, everybody is in the moment. Like when we doing the 2-minute drill or 2-minute warning, we like watching it real time with you. Yeah. Like, so those emotions, I'm like, you gotta go. I'm sitting here and we in between a lot of different stuff, and it's 5 seconds early. McNuggets is calling it. So in the moment, we say a lot of things, but I think that's why the coaches say, gotta watch the tape. Gotta watch the tape. What's going on?
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what I mean? Like there is definitely issues, but I guess we got to look at the grand scheme of things, and at the end of the day, other teams is going through some things too. And there's other teams out here that win ugly games all the time. I mean, hell, look at how the Buffalo Bills just lost to the New England Patriots on Sunday. Woo. Right? You know what I mean? Right. I can only imagine what, Bills Mafia media is talking about today. So, like I said, I'll take the problems that we have. We definitely got some issues, some things that definitely need to be corrected. And I feel like right now, it's an ugly win. But at the same time, I feel like how we win matter. You know what I mean? Like, the issues that we have, they can come back to bite us down the road. It's almost, like you getting up every day and you driving a car with no insurance. Yeah, you can get up and you can do that.
Hey, we don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's risky business. You rolling the dice every time you do that. And so that's how I feel about the Browns. Like right now, man, we driving with no insurance. Like, yeah, we getting to our destination, and that's the end goal, right? You made it from point A to point B safely. But as this thing kind of gets further along in the season, man, you got to make sure you got some insurance because we got big goals, big dreams. And in order to accomplish that, like, we got to make sure every component of this football team is moving in the right direction. And right now, that's not the case. And that's just the reality. That's not being negative. That's just the reality of what's going on right now.
Listen, and you bring a really good segue into this. Let's get into this, man. We talked about it earlier. Deshaun Watson, what are we doing with him? Deshaun Watson, it looks like, I don't know if he's injured. Is he still hurt? Kevin Stefanski has talked a little bit about that, and he said he pulled him, just to make sure he pulled him to protect him. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull that quote up really quickly here with that. You take a look at it. Kevin Stefanski said on Monday, Deshaun Watson remains the leader of the team, even after the quarterback was removed from Saturday's game against the Colts. Kevin Stefanski was quoted as saying, "I'm always going to be protective of my players, especially at quarterback position." Stefanski said, "Just felt like it was the right thing in that moment, and was to hold him out for the game." So when you look at that, Earl, you take a look at what Coach Stefanski said. Do you agree with that of him taking him out? And do you think that will cause anything moving forward that may be issues between the two of them?
I don't think it'll cause anything as far as issues going forward between the two of them. Yes, I think it was the right thing to take them out. Saturday on 92.3 The Fan, I was in your host seat on a barbershop. You wasn't able
did a great job, by the way. Great job, by the way.
Appreciate that. And then my opening monologue, man, I kind of alluded to everything and how it played out. I really felt like that from the beginning, Deshaun Watson should have been set another week. I know that, he didn't practice on Wednesday. Thursday, it was light work. Friday, he took all the reps. Thursday, he had little to no velocity on the ball. Friday, we was told the velocity improved. All signs looked to him starting that game. And I was real weary of that, to be totally honest. Like, yeah, you might got more spin on the ball on Friday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are where you needed to be. And I just felt like if he went out there and he wasn't really ready to go and he didn't perform well, we would be right here where we are right now. You know what I mean? And I felt like that they could have tried to avoid that. I talked about the two things that tend to travel: a running game and defense. The Browns ran the ball for 150 yards. The defense did not put forth their best game, but they did have some key stops and some key moments, and Myles Garrett single-handedly dominated. So the Browns ultimately did enough to win with P.J. Walker under center anyway. And I just wish that they kind of would have, saved themselves from themselves so that we wouldn't be talking about the things that we have to talk about on the post-game show or on the Victory Monday when it pertains to Deshaun Watson. So no, I had no problem with him holding him out for the rest of that game, and I don't think it'll cause any riffraff going forward. I felt like Kevin Stefanski did the right thing for the football team in that moment.
I totally agree. My thing, you hear me on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and on the Barbershop. I've been saying, I said I would not play him to the Ravens game. I wanted them to get, if they would have not played him the 2 bye weeks, whatever, they came back against the 49ers, didn't play, that would be 3 weeks. 4 weeks would be today when he didn't play against, he played against the Colts. You still got the Seahawks that he would be sitting. Past the Seahawks, you got the Cardinals. That gives you an additional 3 weeks where you can get healed, ready to go. And if he's not ready to go, then here's what I'll know. I'll know that he's not ready to go, and I'll need to understand that if we're in a playoff push, how we got to change our game plan and understand what we're going to do, because he'll have a game coming back against the Ravens. If he gets hurt or any setbacks in that, you can readjust. But now it's a situation where, because he is, totally like they've cleared him physically. But the part is, if you still got a microscopic tear in your shoulder, I saw you didn't have it right when he threw the ball. First ball, I said, oh, no, that ain't it. And the thing about getting hit, think about it like this. If P.J. Walker was in the game and P.J. Walker was doing his thing, think about how many times P.J. Walker got hit. Now, substitute that for Deshaun Watson. I don't think he could take those hits. He fell down on the first one and was low-key in trouble, Earl. And I'm gonna get your thoughts on this, but let me give you this on Deshaun Watson as well. Deshaun Watson, he spoke today as well. He said, whenever I step on the field, I don't want to have any pain holding me back and be handicapped. Watson said, we had a great week of preparation, and we felt that it was the best opportunity for me to come back this week. I just wasn't able to finish the game. Now, when you hear that, is he saying that he wasn't able to finish the game physically? Or is he just saying, like, hey, like, to me, when I read that earlier, it says he wasn't physically able to finish the game. Now, Coach Stefanski didn't say that. He said he just pulled him for his own health. What do you take out of this comment by Watson?
Let me reread it again. And this was like, let me make sure I'm correct in context here, right? This was post game, correct?
That's correct.
Whenever I step on the field, I don't want to have any pain holding me back and be handicapped, Watson said. We had a great week of preparation, and we felt that it was the best opportunity for me to come back this week, and I just wasn't able to finish the game. I disagree with that. You know what I mean? Because from everything that I watched on TV or everything that we did get as far as reporting, which was only really a little bit, he cleared concussion protocol. I don't think anything was evaluated with the throwing shoulder. The throwing shoulder was not mentioned at all. And so, like, I mean, he talked about the pain wasn't a problem, earlier this week or last week when he spoke to the media. He alluded to, the pain is not the issue. It's about being able to grip the ball and be able to throw the ball. So for him to allude to pain in his comments, I don't know. It could be like a head scratching type of reaction, but I just kind of felt like he shouldn't have been out there. Regardless of how great the week was, the Browns should have thought long term. I think he should have thought long term. I know McNuggets alluded to the point that, Deshaun Watson went to the coaches and said, "Hey, I'm ready to go." And he had that final decision. I don't necessarily agree with players having the final decision on whether they play or not. I think that, the coach or whoever makes those decisions should always do what's in the best interest of the football team. Ultimately, I just want to see Deshaun Watson play better, right? Like, I was one of the people that was banging the pavement that the Browns should go trade for Deshaun Watson. And I was pretty adamant about that. And I have sat here at times, and tried to find reasoning to alter people's perspective of why they should give it more time. But at the end of the day, it is frustrating, right? Because, he was brought here because he was touted as an elite quarterback. And we have not really seen elite play. And I understand that, like, it's been circumstances surrounding that. But, like, how people say, like, a win is a win and every team got circumstances. Man, there's circumstances surrounding everybody, every team, every player in the NFL on why they have success or they don't have success. We got obligations in the media, but I'm a Browns fan, G. Like, born and raised in the city of Cleveland, I'm a Browns fan. And everybody watching can feel what I'm about to say. Like, yeah, we like individual players and we cheer for individual players and we want certain guys to come be a part of this team. But I cheer for the name on the front of that jersey, right? I cheer for the name on the front of that jersey, no matter how much I might like the player that's on the back of the jersey. But when that player that name is on the back of the jersey is kind of like compromising this football team, like, yeah, like I got to call it like I see it. You know what I mean? I want Deshaun Watson to help the Cleveland Browns have success. And right now, that's not happening. You know what I mean? The quarterback play has not been good. And I can't sit up here and make excuses for that at all. Something has to be done.
Professor Chaos has a super chat. Appreciate you, Professor Chaos. I am not defending those 4 terrible passes, but are we sure if Deshaun did not hit his head, he would have continued being bad for the rest of the game? I'm not sure he would have been continued to be bad. We won't. I mean, that's speculation. We don't know. All we know is he didn't play very well in those 4. So we got to figure out now. The question is, moving forward in the show, we need to talk about it. Is this something that's going to be lingering throughout the rest of the season? Daryl, shout out to Daryl, man. Appreciate you. G Bush and Earl to Pearl, yes indeed. We appreciate the super chats as well. And we mentioned this earlier coming up. We'll talk about, we said Watson and what he did, but there's a quarterback who's been 2-0 so far. His name is PJ Walker. What are your thoughts about him moving forward with the Cleveland Browns?